Alright guys, this is a long time coming, and I've been meaning to do a recording of this video. I tried doing my Q&A a few months back, but there was some issues with me doing it live, so I tried to switch it over to Twitch, but then there was issues with that. So I decided to wait, try to gather a few more things, and try to make this video a little bit more lengthy so that way I could get a good portion of all the questions you guys had for me. Now, I can do lots more of these. If you guys choose to, you can always contact me here through Twitch when you see me playing or streaming. Pretty much even on my Xbox. Like, my gamer tag is the same as the channel, so look for me on that. All the links to where you can find me are in every description box of my videos. So pretty much come say hi, come ask a question, shoot me a theory, whatever you guys need to do. But first, let's get into this. I'm going to be going down my old questions video that I did way back in May. Going down every single one, and I may hit a couple of other videos going over some of the theories you guys threw at me as well. So let's get started. First question by 0718 Dragon Lord. Question: are you still going to do more about your Friday the 13th sequel post part 7? I would like to, but the more I watch that video I did, I feel like I kind of gave a rough summary of how that story from beginning to end would play out, and just adding details in would just be sort of bulking it up for no reason. Now, if you want a sequel to that sequel, I could probably do something with that, since that's something I don't already have rattling around in my head, and it's something you guys haven't already heard. So, like, pretty much if you want me to do that, then let me know. If there's an outcry for it, I'll definitely start writing something out. But thank you for your question. Next question from Rage ING. Question: your favorite and least favorite horror movie killer? My favorite, of course, is Jason. That goes without saying. Like, I've been a fan of Jason since I can remember. It was one of the first horror movies that I saw, and I absolutely adore it. Least favorite, I'd probably... That's a tough one. I'd probably say the Tall Man. Now, the reason I don't like the Tall Man as much as the others is because the story for him is so wildly inconsistent, and then after the last movie came out, it just made it worse. So it's hard to really get into a character like that for me, just because I like to be able to follow everything and scale everything properly. Now, from part 1, 2, and 3, I looked at him as like he was a force to be reckoning with, as much as Pinhead. But when you really look at it, it just becomes a confusing mess as the series goes on. And it's a fun mess, but it's still a mess nonetheless. And I start losing interest in it after a while, and in the Tall Man himself. Mostly because these types of movies are carried by their villains. So if the villain you start losing interest in, then you're going to lose interest in the series itself, and vice versa. So, I mean, hopefully I didn't ramble on too much with that or triple over. I'm still doing it, tripping over my own words. But to summarize, favorite Jason, least favorite tall man. Thank you for your question. All right, next one. Question: what is your favorite Jason look? Without a doubt, part 7. Aside from the mistake of not having the bullet hole in the hockey mask, they captured every bit of damage he sustained in every movie up until that point. And that look, the first time Kane Hodder played Jason and the way that makeup is designed, to me is the most intimidating he has ever looked before and after. There's nothing that even comes remotely to touching that look. Thank you, Icy Truth, for the question. All right. Next question from Angel Singh. Is there a possibility that somehow Tommy can be involved in future films? Now, I did answer this on the question itself, but I wanted to expand a bit. There is a chance that he could always be used. It just depends on if New Line's making the movie and they, from what I understand of the copyrights themselves, they would have to work with Paramount in order to make that happen. But without Paramount, if I'm correct, then pretty much they cannot use Tommy at all. But thank you for the question. Next question comes from Golden Fredbear Gamer 1983. How would you do a sequel, remake, or reboot for a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? I would like to hear what your interpretation would be for the movie. Well, the way I would do it, just to summarize, I may have a video coming out in the future on that. Ultimately, I would chop off everything past part 2. As much as I love part 3, it's still the road that began the comedic Freddy side. So I want to chop that off to keep Freddy somewhat dark comedic in some aspects, but not overtly. So, like, no welcome to primetime bitch and stuff like that. How I would do it is I would center the focus around the ending of part 1, where Nancy turned her back on Freddy and took away his power. I would make it that was what trapped Freddy in that house. That is why he possessed Jesse and had Jesse killing for him, because Freddy can no longer leave that house. He did use Jesse as a vessel, but that was only a temporary means until he could completely take control of Jesse. After that, you could make it all bets off. Freddy is pretty much, if he completely consumes you, then pretty much he's completely free from his prison. And that's where I would go with that. Of course, you also have the issue of Robert Englund maybe only doing Freddy one more time. So this also has to be a passing of the torch. So with that, you need to get someone to go back into the house to act as a new Jesse, but instead of actively fighting against the evil impulses that Freddy was inflicting on Jesse, this character would embrace it and then pretty much become our new killer down the road. Maybe even taking the reins of the dream demon that we know. Like, he could even have the hat, sweater, glove, all of that. But pretty much ultimately, just to summarize all of that, I would have a new kid being possessed by Freddy and embracing him and becoming the new killer, to where Freddy would eventually be either absorbed into this kid's soul and you still have Freddy just with a new face, or this new kid under the guidance of Freddy Krueger is so evil that he begins to overshadow him. And then we continue the story from there with a new Springwood slasher copycat that will eventually overtake the original and maybe even become the new Dream Demon. But that's how I would do it to continue on the previous timeline, because we're not going to have Robert Englund around forever and we need to move on from that actor to another. And we could also even do it where that Freddy takes this new kid and turns him into such an evil person that after the eventual death of him, Freddy will take his image and use it in the dream world for himself to spread fear again and continue his work, just now with a different face. But, that is a video within itself, and that would be my theory on how I would even begin to look at it. I would want to expand my theories more on it, on how the details will play out, but just off the top of my head, that's how I would want to start looking at it from a different perspective. Next question from Dark Phaser YT. Did Pamela know Jason survived drowning? I don't think so. There'd be no way, unless when she was seeing Jason in her mind, it still doesn't work. I don't think she knew Jason survived at all. It just wouldn't make sense with her going as crazy as she did to begin killing in the first place. I think if she was to have seen Jason, her joy would have overcame her anger, and she would have ultimately disregarded anyone at the camp and would have stayed with Jason overall. So I don't think she knew he survived drowning. I think maybe some of the rumors around town of possibly seeing some disfigured kid in the woods just fed into her psyche and made her more crazy, because it always gave her hope. But that is something that would have happened off screen, and we have no reason to believe that would even be the case. So, short answer to your question, no. I don't think she knew he survived. Next question from Trey Olds. Will there be more Puppet Master videos? Yes, there will be. I'm working on more of them, more theories. The way I work on these videos comes very fluent to me. So I'll watch a movie and I may watch Puppet Master 3 and something will stand out to me. And I will lock on to that subject and I will binge watch the entire series, or at least what I see as the canonical parts of that series. And I will study all of that to make sure that either the theory I gain from that holds water, or pretty much it dissolves itself. So when I go a week or two without doing a video, or at least a theory video, it's mostly because I'm doing lots of research and watching these movies back and forth, upside down, right side up, like every way possible, just to make sure that when I do a video, the theory is unique and makes sense. That's why I started doing a lot more gameplay videos and even some of the cosplay videos, just to sort of bridge that gap so I don't leave you guys alone for too long, because I don't want you guys forgetting that, hey, I'm still here. Definitely a change from when I started the channel, when I was doing videos like once a week. I don't want to fall into that category of burning out. So I try to put a little bit of time and research into every single video just to make sure I'm not rushing it out for a particular deadline. But Trey, I got a little bit out of the subject there. As I said, yes, there will be more Puppet Master videos coming. And even regarding what I see as multiple timelines of Puppet Master, that will be one of my next videos that I do. So thank you for asking. All right, and last question from Gareth Jacobson. If there is a death curse that keeps bringing Jason back to life, it might be driving him to kill. Maybe Jason even has to kill, or the curse will take away his endless life. Well, that's also a question and a theory within itself. As I wrote in the comment a month ago when this was submitted, it is interesting if it's true. Then Jason may be prolonging his life by killing and still hoping to do the same for Pamela once reunited. But I don't think Jason is sustaining himself by killing. I think Jason, once he was resurrected by the death curse, it's still in his mind that he's trying to bring Pamela back. He's still trying to kill and make the sacrifices necessary in order to bring her back to life. The only problem is it's likely that her remains, like her head and the bodies from the shack, were recovered by the police, and he likely doesn't know where her head is anymore. So pretty much every time he wakes up, at least in the Paramount films, in his mind it's still in that time frame from part 4. Like it's just days removed since he was killed by Tommy Jarvis. So he's still looking for his mother's head and still trying to complete the ritual. It's just now it's becoming impossible, because I feel like the way this is going, the only way Jason will truly rest is if him and Pamela are reunited. However, with her head being gone, there's likely no record of where it is at this point, or at least to where Jason can find it. So he'll never rest. And I think the next logical step in his evolution as an undead killer would be Ghost, which could be something that I touch on in a future video. But thank you for the question, Gareth. Alright, I want to give a special thanks to Ghost Jason, Devin Hurd, and Ghoul World Order. You guys are always on all my videos, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. If you guys want me to do more videos like these for questions and pretty much anything in general, feel free to comment in any of the videos below. Of course, try to separate them by putting question and bold letter, well, bold or capital if you can do bold. Pretty much do them like that so that way I can separate them and I can easily pick them out for the next video I do like this. If you guys want to follow me on any of the social media that I'm on, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all of that will be in the description below. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hitting the notification bell to be alerted whenever a new video is uploaded. And as always, I am JG Dark, and thanks for watching.